Welcome to Flights, the podcast where we uncork the secrets to running a successful destination wedding and group travel business. Each episode, we will explore the good, bad, and ugly of destination weddings while sipping on the finest wines from our pantries.
As your hosts, we believe in savoring the journey with a glass of wine in hand. Join us, Mario Lopez and Ashley Morris of Destination Wedding University, as we explore all of the adventures and misadventures that we experience in this crazy industry.
Okay, all right. So we are back in season 2, episode 8/CD, somewhere in there.
eight and 3/4, 8 and 3. We're doing this series of people who have been in the inner circle, who have been through Destination Wedding University, and it has impacted their lives so much that they were able to change careers and focus on travel full time. That is the section we are in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So today we are welcoming Dorthy Johnson. Dorothy, thank you so much for joining us.
And You're welcome. I'm so excited.
I ran out of air as I was saying that.
Ran out of air.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you're not 100.
Doing great today.
It's Wednesday. We're all just getting through the week. It's good.
Surviving. We're doing it.
Yep. So, Mario, we were just talking before we hit record. Mm-hmm. We were talking about Dorothy. You used to be a teacher, right?
I was a teacher for 10 years and I taught elementary.
What grades?
You name it, I taught it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades. I like it.
Yes. I think that was one of my biggest flaws is the principals saw how flexible I was and they were like, oh, she's not going to complain. Put her in that grade level. Oh, she won't complain. Put her in the next. So I'm like, oh, okay, sure, I'll go.
It's that meme that always goes around, like, right? Like, hey, you're good at your job. Here's some more work. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, I literally taught anywhere from kindergarten to 5th grade.
Oh, those are big differences, like different lesson plans, different kids. It's not like you could like repurpose stuff if you're always changing.
Exactly. Yeah. In classrooms all the time. I was like, oh, yay, this is great. I love it. So you wonder why I wanted to look for something else.
I feel like I speak to so many school teachers who just experience burnout at some point where it's just like, all right, it's time for something.
How could you not?
Yeah.
No, definitely. And I always wanted to travel and I got into it because I loved Disney. But then during the COVID, it got too crazy where we had to, teach online. But it got to the point where every 6 weeks it was a new semester and we had not the option because they told us, but they could actually change our grade level every 6 weeks.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because it was, depending how many kids were still doing from home teaching will depend on what grade level you're going to teach the next semester. So I was like, this is getting ridiculous.
No wonder there's been such a mass exodus of teachers.
Yes.
Since then, I feel like, and even in the playbook, like Melissa LaSalle was an elementary school teacher. We've had a few teachers. I think Lauren was. Yeah. So it's interesting how people come about to travel because it's really not many people's first career. Almost all of us have come to travel from something else. So how did you actually get into, what was the step? You loved Disney and then what?
Yes. So I love Disney and I wanted to, I planned our vacation at Disney, obviously all the time. And I was like, okay, I want to do this full time. Found the only company that you didn't need a experience. Just, I've gone to Disney 1,001 times and I was like, that's me. I've done that. So I joined the company, but they didn't really train you. They just said, here you go. Here's the login. You have fun with that. Ooh. And with 150 agents, and there was a Facebook page for us, and you can ask questions on there, but their motto was there is such thing as a dumb question.
They actually said that?
Not really said it, but anytime you would ask a question, literally the owner would say, well, that's a stupid question.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, this is not good. So
that takes some balls if you try training and then say there's stupid questions.
They just wanted her fees. They didn't want to actually train her. They just wanted the fees.
That's what I was saying is with the 150 agents, I don't think they cared. They were like, just whatever. So I realized after, doing that for like 2 years, trying to juggle teaching and doing Disney. I was like, I can't do this. It was getting busier and I'm like, I can't do this, but he's not providing enough support that I need. So I was like, okay, something's got to give. So I quit that company because it wasn't just the training, but also he wouldn't let me have access to Vax when other people wanted to book something else besides Disney. And if I could use his Vax login, but I couldn't make any payments. He wanted access to that. So
this is all very questionably legal.
Well, I don't know what I don't know. So to me, I was like, okay, fine. So I was like, okay, so I quit that. And then about a year later, it was my husband and I 25th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
And we wanted to go to Cancun since we went there for our honeymoon. And someone said, hey, you should go talk to this person. She works for Sun Lover Travel. And I was like, sure. And while we were talking, we became friends. And I kept asking questions like, hey, is this normal for a travel agency?
It's normal
to this, is it normal to say that's a stupid question during your Facebook page? Is it normal to charge you $5 to have a Gmail with them? Yeah, exactly.
But
you were an IC, not an employee, right?
Correct.
Oh, well, someone needs to go back and brush up on their rules about what you can do with an IC versus an employee.
Yes. That's interesting. There were just so many red flags that I didn't know until after. Then I was like, okay, I'm glad I left. So after talking to her, she's like, you really should come here. It's completely different. We're a really small company, about 10 to 12 agents. We'll train you. If you have any questions, we're a phone call away kind of thing. So
was that Carrie that you met, or was it someone else on the team?
No, it was Whitney.
Oh, okay, got it.
Sun Lover Travel. And then I told Whitney from day one, I was like, I want to do this full time. I do not have the balls to quit my job. But I want to do this full time. And she was always like, we're going to get, it's going to happen. We're going to get you there. And I was like, okay, I trust you. And then she sold the company to Carrie. And I knew Carrie for like a split second. So I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
What did I get myself into?
Yeah, exactly. And then literally it was like, I quit my job and then she sold the company. So I was like, oh, okay.
What timing?
Lovely.
Exactly. But then Carrie was like, hey, I know you want to, I'm glad you did this. I'm going to be here to help you with it 100% of the way. Don't worry. And then she told me about the program. And in the past, anytime someone had a wedding or referred me a wedding group, I was like, yeah, I don't do weddings. It just seemed so hard and overwhelming that I was like, I always gave them away to someone else. So she was just like, you just haven't been trained properly. Once you get trained, you're going to, be more comfortable doing it. So I got the information from Carrie and then I looked at the price and I was like, that's a lot of money to invest in me. And as a teacher who just quit her job.
Yeah, that's overwhelming.
It was. And I went to my husband. I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, you have to do it. I mean, if this is how you're going to make it work and if you're going to, commit to this 100%, you have to do this class.
Oh my gosh. Can we just have a moment for the supportive spouses?
Right.
You're like, because we've heard a similar sentiment from a couple of the other people that we've interviewed this season. And there seems to always be a moment in this story. And I did this myself too, where you kind of doubt that you're not that you're worth it because you're worth it, but it just seems like a lot to invest in yourself. And then in this story, everybody turns to someone and says, should I do this? And the other person says, yes, you should. Like, what do you have to lose? It's just, amazing. Like spouses, roommates, family, whoever's out there supporting you. That's a good thing to have those people in your circle.
I think as a mom, it's so easy for us to be like, hey, kids need money here, take all the money you need. Yeah. But we need something for ourselves. It's kind of like, oh, that's hard for us to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So that scared the crap out of me.
I could see that. What was the timing of this? When did you quit teaching?
In January, 3 years ago. So
Okay.
21.
So
21.
It was Will's last class.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. So Carrie was talking to me throughout the whole time. And then that fall, I joined the class.
Yeah.
And to me, I love, I'm still a teacher at heart. So I love learning. And the fact that it was a class that had a lesson plan for me to follow, that had a class for me to
She's
attend.
like, I am here for it.
Yes,
Give me a list to check off.
Exactly. I had a little booklet and I printed it out. I was like, I'm ready for class. I had my pen and my wine,
I remember you on those calls, Dorothy. You always had all your stuff like printed and ready to go. It was hilarious.
I'm all about that. I'm taking notes,
Oh, I love that. That was the last live one.
Yes.
Because after that, it went to like do at your own pace. And then we're going back to the live for this next session, which is great. Okay. No, I just wasn't sure about the timing. So you quit teaching in January. That's like mid-year. You were just like that done.
I was that done. I told them, I was like, I will stick around if you can't find a replacement for me. But that's, I don't want to leave them hanging. But I was like, but I gave them a month's notice.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, this should be plenty of time to find someone. And they did. They found someone. And that teacher always came to me, was like, I need help with the classroom. And I went and visited the kids. I'm like, okay, you got to pay attention to this new teacher,
Oh, but good. That's really kind of you. Like, that's really nice to go follow up and make sure. Did you have you had never booked a wedding at that point?
I had booked like maybe an elopement. I think that's as close as I got to it, but no weddings whatsoever.
Ballsy, Dorothy. She's a gangster. She's just like, I am quitting. I am doing this and it will work.
Yes. I mean, I'm a go-getter. If I'm going to make it happen, it's going to happen. So, yeah. So
I love that.
And I felt like I had the support. I mean, Carrie was there telling me it's going to happen. And she was giving me referrals, was answering questions for me. And then obviously I joined the class. So then I've got Will behind me answering questions. So I'm like, man, I'm the power group here. We're going to make this happen. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. I didn't realize that you just walked away mid-year like that.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
I threw the mic.
We're
done. Yeah. No, I was over it. And I was like, this is what I'm meant to be doing. So why am I going to wait around? Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that transition then from just like FIT travel to weddings. So you're going through the playbook and you're going through the lessons. And when did you pick up kind of your first wedding? What was it like?
I picked up my first wedding right after I started the class.
Oh,
jumping right in.
Yeah. And it wasn't like I didn't even have any schedule, any landing page. I didn't know how to interview the brides, nothing. Like it was like literally class started and like 2 weeks later I had my first consultation and I'm like,
what a sign. Like that is like the amazing sign that you made this big leap and the universe was like, here you go. Let's go.
No. And I was like, wait, I'm not there yet. What do I do? So, I asked questions but yeah, it was literally that quickly. I was like, okay, obviously it's supposed to be happening. So here we go. Let's jump in and see what happens.
So you were almost like following along with the course in like real time as you were planning that first wedding.
Correct. Yes.
You're like, okay, lesson 1, let's do this. But I mean, do you know what that says about your confidence too? There's so many people that are like, oh, I can't do this until I'm perfect. Like until I know everything or until I have it all figured out. And then there's other people that will just jump in and say, well, I'll figure it out. And you did that. And I'm sure it turned out great.
No, and I'm a big fan of, you fake it till you can make it.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the answer, you'll figure it out. And I'm very honest about that. I tell people I don't know that answer, but you know what? We're going to find out. So yeah, I jumped in and I was like, if we're going to invest in this, we're going to do this. So I was excited and scared to death. So scared to death.
Oh,
So,
but look how it turned out, because here you
yes,
are. And I think people appreciate that honesty. Like when like this job is so much more about just being resourceful and knowing where to go and how to problem solve. There's no way any of us can know every single thing about every single resort or every single
no.
destination. But people, I think, admire your confidence when you just say, I don't know, but I know who to ask and I'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Like that part's really important too.
Well,
So
thank you.
I have a feeling there's a big juxtaposition. Wow. I'm telling you,
Juxtaposition.
my mouth is not working today. Juxtaposition between your old Facebook group and
Mhm.
then getting into the inner circle and
Yes.
support there. So with your first
Oh, like
wedding,
her old host, like her
Oh
Disney.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
yeah. So
Oh
Yes.
your
gosh.
first wedding and you're doing it in real time as you're going through the course. Did
Yes.
you lean on the Facebook group at all to just kind
Oh,
of help work you through some of the ins and outs?
every question I had, I mean, till this day, I feel like I'm always the only person on there asking questions on a daily basis.
Oh, that's
Um,
not
Yeah.
true.
and I feel like I should like start with every post like, "Hi, it's me. I'm the problem." You know.
Taylor Swift would love it.
Um,
No, you always ask. I think your questions are always really thought out. Like I can tell that when you do ask something, you've like put some thought into it and you're trying to put all the pieces together. I'm sure it's very different, like Mario said, from your old group. And I'm
oh
sure there
yeah,
was probably some fear at the beginning. If you were being told that's a stupid
yes,
question, it was probably scary to put yourself out there.
it was. And I did a lot of stalking on the Facebook group, you
Good.
know,
Yep.
and to see what kind of questions are asked and to see if I could help myself with the answers. And then only, put any kind of questions I couldn't find the answers to. But what really overwhelmed me at first, it wasn't meeting with the bride, it was just the whole how to do a contract, a group
Mhm.
rate versus a fit. And because I didn't know how to do a room block at first, I first just did flexible group rate with my first bride because I was like, I don't know how to do it any other way yet.
Well, and
So
you were under a time crunch too. Like it was happening. So there wasn't a
yeah,
lot of time to let's take a time out and learn everything about contracts.
I
Yeah.
know. So I did it, the flexible group rate at first. Thank goodness it was only like a very small wedding of like 10 rooms. So I was like, this
Oh,
is
well, that probably
perfect.
worked out anyway. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was fine, but that was the most scariest part. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? Yeah.
So at the end of the course, like
Uh-huh.
15, 16 weeks later,
Yes.
did you feel like you could then, like your next wedding could be a contracted group? Like, do you feel like you learned enough in that first session to make your second wedding different?
Yes. I learned enough to understand what a contract, because I didn't even know the difference. Let's just be
Uh,
honest. I
Mhm.
didn't even know the difference. I just thought, okay, I have no idea what this contract block is, whatever it is. But I knew enough by the time I was done to know that is what I need to do instead of the flexible group rate. But I didn't know how to create the contract for my bride to sign. And that's where Carrie came in. She helped me with a lot of questions like, okay, what should they be signing? When should I have their final payment due? When should, all those kind of questions.
mhm.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, that was the hard part.
Like Ashley said before, that speaks a lot to your confidence level. And I feel like everything in life, we've had this conversation multiple times over the podcast, but everything in life happens for a reason. So I think, one thing that played to your strength coming from that previous agency and moving into, where they just kind of tossed you in the fire, you were a little bit more apt to jump into the fire, like to just
Yeah,
do it, right?
yeah,
What is your favorite part now of doing weddings?
everything. I love it
Like,
all.
I'm not teaching kids. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I love everything about it. Only thing I don't like is still the contract part because I'm always like, okay, is this enough time? Is this enough, is this the right
Yeah.
this and that? And there's some room because like this year I have one that's like 50 rooms. And I'm like, okay, am I doing this too early? Because I think I had them pay everything off within like 8 months, like before the wedding. So I was like, I gave myself so much extra time that I was like, I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to give it a lot of time.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I don't like is just the contract, just to make sure I get it right. But everything I love about it. I love meeting brides because I end up being friends with them. like we'll just chit chat and talk. I had one bride drunk dial me and left me a voicemail. And she was like, okay, remember how you both talked about how we love tequila? I just had too much and I'm on the floor and I can't get up. And this is it, Dorothy. I'm giving up tequila, no more.
Oh my gosh. She had like a one-sided therapy session with your voicemail.
It really was. I listened to it the next morning. I'm like, okay, no more tequila for her.
She was probably mortified.
Yeah.
Was this before the wedding or after the wedding?
Her wedding's not till next year, not till next
Oh gosh,
year.
it has, okay.
Oh yeah. So I was like, this is hilarious.
Oh,
So,
you need to send that girl a bottle of tequila before the wedding. Yeah.
Don't enable her.
Yeah, no, it was so funny. But I just love getting to know the brides better, their families. I feel like by the time we're done, we're all best friends and then we all know each other, you know.
And you have time to spend with those people, I'm guessing, because you've made the other parts of your business so efficient and streamlined that you have time to get to know them. Like, I don't know, sometimes people hear the automation and they think, oh, it's like robotic and I don't want to be that way. I want to have like one-on-one relationships with my clients. And I've said this before, but like you're missing the point. The automation is to make life easier so you have time to spend with the couples. You're not like chasing down payments and sending reminders and things like that. That's all happening for you. So you can spend the time getting so comfortable with the bride that she drunk dials you.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you comfortable, I don't know what does. It's amazing. Yeah.
How much of your teaching background do you think you use in travel now?
I think a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because with teaching, you have to be especially with young kids, you have to be very patient and explain everything to them, like step by step. So I'll explain the same thing to my bride over and over again. You know, even during our first consultation, I'm like, okay, here's this and this to this. Before we go to the next one, what questions do you have about this part of it? You know, so yeah, I think you definitely have to use some of that and not be afraid to repeat yourself. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to have them ask the same questions over and over again because they want to feel secure to ask you those type of questions too.
You're there a safe place for them.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a fair amount of nurturing that we have to do as advisors. And I feel like that's where our strength really lies is if, to Ashley's point, if your automations are set up and all those other things are being handled, you're able to nurture some of these people a little bit more and a little further. So they are, they're already in contract with you. You're already moving forward, right? But you're able to really kind of get into making sure that they understand every step of the process and that they know what's expected of them and that you guys are able to kind of get to that finish line in good standing, right?
Yes. And there's some brides who doesn't need it. Some are just like, hey, we're good to go. And, you'll talk to them once a month and we're good. And there's other brides who, like the other day, we signed the contract. She went to go visit the resort and she's like, you know what? I don't think this is the right resort for me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
So we had to start over from scratch. And she's like, I already know the one I want. So we're moving over her room block from one Dreams Resort to a different Dreams Resort.
Oh, at least that's easy. Like
that's exactly. It's easy enough, but it's good because some brides are going to need more attention than others. Yeah.
But so that's an interesting topic. When she came to you with that change, I'm sure 3 or 4 years ago, that would have been like paralyzing. But how was it now? Like, do you feel like you were in a different place mentally to deal with that now?
This is my first time having to do that. I felt like her email was so long. She was so apologetic.
Oh,
she's like, I'm so sorry to do this to you. And I'm like, oh, why are you apologizing? Like I called her. I was like, why? I was like, I'd rather you find out now this is not the right resort for you than on your wedding day. And you're looking at this resort saying, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you for letting me know now so we can go ahead and pick the right resort for you.
Yeah. Did you have guests booked already?
No.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Even easier. Very nice.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was just transferring it to the next one. So now we're just waiting to confirm for the next dreams resorts, and that's it. So
Nice.
That's why you work with the tour operator, not booking direct. Sorry, that's just my little plug in there. People ask about tour operator versus booking direct, and tour operator just gives you that safety net that if something like that did happen, you can just go bloop, 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 and you don't have to like refund money or charge it again, or just like, that was probably pretty easy.
Oh yeah. They already reached out to me and says, okay, when you guys are ready, we'll just transfer the money to the next one. I was like, all right, thanks. That's easy enough.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So now that's obviously, whatever you're comfortable sharing, tell us a little bit about your weddings business today. How are you in, booking your consultations? Are you, booking 100 weddings a year? What's it looking like?
Okay. So during the class, obviously I got tons of referrals, tons of experience. And then last year, I feel like I've been doing this for forever, but I haven't. But last year was my first full year of doing it.
Okay.
And doing this full time. So 14 weddings.
Good job.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
You went from 0 to 14
in 1 year. Yes.
That's huge.
That's not fit groups. Those are extra, but this is just weddings. So now I'm completely just weddings and honeymoons, bachelorette party kind of things here and there. But yeah. And then now next year, for right now, I have about 9 for next year. And it's funny, they're all from January to May right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
so I'm like,
that kind of happens. That makes sense.
Yeah. So the ones I'm getting now for this week are more November, October frame. So yeah, it's about 14. And then I'm hoping to, slowly get more and more every year.
That's amazing. I mean, 9, and you're just booked in the beginning of the year. I do have to tell you, you're actually out. You have more weddings than me confirmed this year. So congratulations. That's awesome.
But okay, not using Dorothy's numbers. So I'm not getting nosy with her business, but just for anyone listening, thinking about this, 14 weddings, let's say 40 to 50 rooms a group. That's depending on the hotel, $10,000 to $15,000 in commissions with commas. That's what we like. Commissions with commas.
That's right.
So let's just split the difference. 12,000 a wedding times 14 weddings. That's $168,000 a year in commission for anyone listening. And how much easier is it to do those 14 weddings than it is to book, 14 times 40 rooms, 560 individual trips? Yes. You couldn't do it.
No, you can't. There's not enough time in the day. No. And I doubled my income as a teacher the first year doing it full time.
Nice.
Who does that? The first year doing it.
Yeah.
Of course, I can have done it without the class because I didn't have, I had that backbone. I had that foundation to actually help me through it all. So it was great. Every happy hour meeting, I was looking forward to it because I knew there was more knowledge that was coming my way. I was like, okay, I'm going to meet with Mario. We're going to meet with Will, and we're going to learn everything. And I was
such a model student. I love it. You doubled your income from being a teacher, and I would be willing to bet you work less.
I do. Oh my gosh, ever. Yes. The thing is, I work less. I mean, I work more, I think, because I want to work more.
Okay. Yeah, you're choosing to. That's different.
Yeah, I love it so much. My husband's like, you need to stop working, honey. 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, do I have to? Because I just get so much joy out of it that I want to do it all the time. And that's the difference is when I was a teacher, I got joy from working with the kids, but not what I was doing. Right. So here I have the joy of working with the brides and the joy of what I'm doing. So it's
pretty amazing.
It is. It's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a great place to be. And I mean, I'm still learning. There's still things that I'm learning. And that's what I love about being a travel agent. You can't not expect to learn something every day and have something different come to you. Be like, oh, I've never done that one before. Let's try it.
And I think that's one of my favorite things about this community is that we get to, we get these little tidbits of information, and each of us gets it at different times, or we learn lessons in different ways, or, and it's nice to be able to, once you get that, to be able to share it around. And, this is, hey, guys, this is what I just experienced. By the way, keep an eye out for this. Something in the contract has changed and no one told us. It's nice to be able to share that and kind of have that visibility of, 150 agents instead of, just by yourself trying to figure it out with blinders on.
Well, and not even just, sorry, Dorothy, I didn't mean to cut you off, but not even like 150 agents, but 150 like vetted, committed, good agents, not 5,000 people in a Facebook group and a third of them have never booked a trip before. Like, it's like a totally different thing. Now, say what you were going to say. Sorry, I completely cut you off.
The biggest difference when I was a teacher, I felt like everyone was, we were supposed to be working together as a group, but we really weren't. It was like, you're in it for yourself. It's your classroom. You're in this little classroom by yourself. And if you need help, well, you figure it out because I've got my own classroom to worry about. So it was very different when Will was saying, this is not a competition. We're in this together. And I was like, that was the hardest thing for me to swallow, because I'm like, I just came from being a teacher. That's not the way it works.
Yeah.
Teachers, we don't do that. So till this day, I'm still like, okay, we're not in competition with each other. So yeah, but also with the Facebook group, like when we found out that Appy Couple went up in price, and we're all like, oh my gosh, that just happened. So it's nice to have a place that, anything does change, there's a place to go to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's all people, where everyone's coming from. Like you all have the same, same course background. Not obviously we all have different backgrounds, but we're all doing the same thing and trying to accomplish the same thing. I know there is some Disney agent listening to this that is thinking, I love Disney, but man, it does not pay the bills. So what would you say to any of those Disney, not to pick on Disney, but I am, what would you say to those Disney agents who are looking to make a change?
I would say do it, because you can still go visit Disney anytime you want to. No one's going to stop you. Or one day you'll get a Disney wedding. How about that?
Oh gosh, there you go.
There you go. But yeah, I still love Disney. But I'm sorry, it doesn't pay the bills. And
it's a hobby.
Yeah, it definitely, I think that's more like a hobby than it is an actual career. So I say do it. Go make more money. Go enjoy you have more money to go enjoy Disney now.
There you go. Absolutely.
Doubling that income. I'm going to ask a nosy question. You don't have to answer, but do you charge fees, right?
To be honest, long story short, when I first got started, I did. Then I ended up with brides who were really, really high maintenance.
Okay.
And Carrie was like, maybe that's what's drawing that is, the fees that you're charging. Then I was like, okay, so I quit charging fees altogether, because I'm like, I'm scared to death because I'm getting these high maintenance brides. And now I'm going to go back to charging a fee again, because now I know more, and it wasn't the fee, it was the bride.
Oh, got it. What a learning experience though. Like you took something, like the playbook does talk about charging fees, like full disclosure. And you saw that and you tried it and you thought, okay, for right now, that's not going to work for me. I'm going to do it a different way. And now you're bringing it back with more knowledge. So you found a way to make that work for you, which I think is great.
Because it's not the fee that is bringing the brides. It's those crazy brides just find me.
Well, there are just crazy brides sometimes, and they're going to find you whether you charge nothing or charge $10,000. Like they're just crazy.
But now I know enough what to look for, and I know when to bless and release. Where before I was so desperate to have a bride, and I was so desperate for money that I was like, sure, I'll do anything you need me to, So now I don't have to do that. I don't have to get run over by anyone, because, I'm worth more than that.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things that we get to talk about, I know this is just like the cynical side of me coming out. So one of my favorite things that we talk about in the playbook is that bless and release. And even when we're in contract,
Yeah.
You know, there's, first of all, we talk about the things that you need to have in your contract to protect yourself and protect your time and protect your company. And then, you know, the next thing about it is also when it's okay to say, you know what, this isn't working for me. I'm sure it's also probably not working for you guys either. So at this point, let's, you know, cut ways and finding the proper way to do that. So you're not just, you know, putting yourself at risk.
And with kindness, like the way to express that to them, it doesn't have to be combative. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Like sometimes it's what Mario just said, like, hey, this doesn't work for me. I don't think this is probably the best for you either. Let me find a way, you know, let's end this. And maybe I can even find someone who's a better fit for you. And now you have this whole network of people who potentially could be that better fit.
No, definitely. Like I said, I wanted to do it all. And then at first, and now I'm like, I don't want to do it all. I want to be picky of who I want to work with. And I'm valuable in my time. And I know what to look for. The red signs, the little red flags are there. Then I'm like, oh, no, thank you. Have a great day.
She says with a smile on her face. I feel like Dorothy's like you, Mario, where she can tell somebody to go away and they have no idea.
Absolutely.
So nicely.
We kind of go like this.
Yeah, totally. That was worth the visual, everyone. If you're listening instead of watching, you need to go back and rewind and watch.
Go back, rewatch on YouTube. Totally worth it.
Yeah.
You know what you just said that I totally relate to, and maybe somebody listening will too. When you said, I used to be so desperate to get a bride, it from that like scarcity mindset, that like panic mindset that we have when you know, you quit your job or you want to quit your job. You're not quite there yet. You will, like I did it too. You take everything that comes in the door, and it usually runs you ragged and is not a good fit.
Yeah, you'll get burned out right away. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. And my husband's laughing at me some days when he's like, oh, so now you're that person who's not doing that. I'm like, yes, I know enough now to say, nope, this isn't going to work.
And that just brings so much to like your own peace, like your own life. Like,
definitely.
That's fantastic to have the confidence to do that now.
Yes, definitely. So
that is 100% worth walking a, you know, potential $10,000 commission when you know that they're going to put you through just, you know, run the ranks for 18 months. Forget it. Never mind.
I did that last year, and I couldn't sleep. I literally had the one bride that I dealt with her for a whole year, and Carrie knows. I mean, literally there was nights I couldn't sleep and I was so stressed. And even when we blessed and released her, she was still there. And it was like, oh my God, I can't get rid of her. And it was like, in the long run, I'm glad I learned what I learned, but man, I wish I would have gotten rid of her when I should have, you know?
Well, and here's like what I always think when people are in that situation, like you're at the very beginning and you're already getting these red flags and bad signs. Do you think her friends and family are better? If that, and I don't mean to say I don't want to always pick on brides, because sometimes it's grooms, sometimes
Definitely
it's,
the grooms, sometimes.
Anyone in the group, but like, what's that phrase about like water seeks its own level? Like if that couple is challenging to work with, chances are their friends and family are going to be challenging too. So you can't just like, you know, like grit yourself, you know, through it. You're going to be dealing with all their friends and family too. It's just not worth it sometimes.
And that's the funny part is I had issues with the bride, and then I had issues with two other of her, you know, guests as well. And they were just as bad as she was. So I'm going, oh my gosh. So yes. And that's always been my thing is, you know what, if I make a mistake, as long as I learn from it, I'm okay with it. And that was the biggest wedding group that I learned so much from. And I switched so many different things of how I do my business this year because of what I learned from that wedding group.
Good for you. That's everything in my contract is there for a reason. There's probably a story behind every bullet point for like everything that you've learned along the way. But I just think it's so amazing that you went from a place of, okay, I'm going to jump off this cliff and quit my job mid-year teaching, you know, and pick up this wedding as I'm learning. And now you've doubled your income. You have the freedom to say no to people you don't want to work with, which is huge. And you're just laughing all the way to Disney on those vacations, taking those trips.
But I couldn't have done it without the class, without the community, without everything. I mean, I swear to you, I could have not done it. It's such a blessing that I was able to do it when I did.
I'm glad that you were too. There's so many great stories in our group like this, and it's so fun to hear them.
This is why we want. Yeah, go ahead, Dorothy.
If I didn't do that class, can you imagine what would have happened? I wouldn't have the kind
You would have quit.
I would have been like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
I would have gone back to teaching, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how do we rescue all those people in your Facebook group being told their questions are stupid? That's what I want to know.
I just want you to drop the playbook link in that group and be like, here you go, guys.
If it wasn't a private group, I would, but maybe I'll go to all those, travel agents, say, when you're ready, I'm waiting for you. Because that was crazy. Definitely don't do that ever again. But yeah, it's been a wonderful ride, and I'm excited to see what is going to happen in the future, because this is just the beginning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That might be a good jumping off point for our lightning round of questions. Okay, so can I start it off? I've never started it. Can I start it this time?
I was literally just thinking the same thing. You should, yeah, absolutely.
That way we'll get to ask different questions, because we always need to ask. Okay, so Dorothy, I promise this is not intimidating. It's just a fun, quick few questions. Don't think too hard. Just say the first thing that pops out of your mouth, because then it always sparks good conversation. Okay, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Actually, Mexico.
Oh, popular answer.
I really want to go move to Mexico. I'm ready.
It's amazing. Yeah. I think the more and more we spend time there as advisors, like, we just fall in love with it.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to Europe this summer, so I might change my answer.
What countries?
We're doing a 10-day Mediterranean cruise.
Oh,
so
nice.
Like Rome and Italy, and the Greece and all that. So we'll see. I mean, I might come back and change my mind.
Will did that cruise, and he absolutely loved it. Yeah, he did it with his mom, and he came back just raving. He wanted to take me to every single one of the locations. You're gonna love it.
Oh, good. I'm excited. Yeah, we're taking the whole family. My both boys graduate this year, one from college, one from high school.
Oh.
So we're gonna take them on this cruise.
Big celebration year.
Yeah.
Mario, was that the cruise? Like the cruise where the playbook was born?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Will wrote it out on notes on that cruise with his mom.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And my mom's coming on the cruise with us too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, there you go. See?
Yeah.
All right. This is one of my favorite questions, and I haven't gotten to ask it in a while. Dorothy, what is your favorite curse word?
Curse word? I don't cuss.
Oh, that's okay.
All right.
You were a teacher.
Actually, it's a Mexican cuss word.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Pinche pendejo.
Yes.
Sorry.
She's like, I don't swear, but let me just
let me do it in Spanish.
Let me do it in Spanish, because I speak Spanish. So that is the only time I cuss is in Spanish. So that, my husband's like, he knows that's a cuss word. He doesn't know what it means, but he knows it's a cuss word. My boys know what it means, and they're like, Mom. I'm like,
because you were a teacher, I get to ask this. What were like your teacher swear words? Like, what did you say that was classroom acceptable for first graders?
I did not let them say anything.
I
didn't let them say the word hate. I didn't let them say the word stupid. One child went up to me and was like, he said the S word. I'm like, shit. And, I didn't say shit, but I was like, what is the S word? He's like, stupid.
Oh.
I was like, oh, no. Oh, I'll talk to him about it later in class,
Nice.
Well, this might lead into, what's your least favorite word? Any word of any kind.
Oh, any word. That's a hard one. Douchebag. I'm not a fan.
Just hearing Dorothy say that puts a huge smile on my face.
People have to hear what she does, her gestures, and the swearing in Spanish, and saying she hates douchebag. That's my day is complete. That's all I needed.
I know. So prim and proper, and then douchebag.
Oh, it's fantastic.
But that's it. That's the only word I don't like.
Well, I agree. It's a gross word.
So then on a brighter note, then I don't know if you've had a chance to read the book at all, but what is your love language?
I haven't had a chance to read the book,
Okay.
but I figured, I mean, mine is just verbal love language.
Yeah.
I'm
Words of affirmation.
words, yes. Like I love people telling me you're doing a great job. Like you don't have to buy me things or shower me with gifts, just verbally tell me. And that's all I want to hear. And that keeps me going for the, next couple months.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's it.
So the opposite, what's like a big turnoff? Like what do you hate that people do?
I hate when someone tries to tell you did something when you didn't. I just hate that. It's like to me, I'm a very honest person and like I don't lie. So if I did something, I'm gonna be like, look, I don't lie, and I lied to you, and you can tell because you can tell when I lie. So so I'm sorry, or that's what I don't like. It's like just be honest with me. Don't accuse me of something because if I did it, I would tell you I did it. No big deal.
Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one, if you can't play favorites or you don't want to play favorites, you don't have to, but just maybe keep it general then. What is your favorite hotel? And it could be favorite hotel you sell, could be favorite hotel to visit. What's your favorite hotel?
Okay. So hotel that I've seen, not stayed at, is LeBlanc.
Which one, Cabo or Cancun?
I've seen both, but I've never stayed there. So I can't tell you how it is to stay there. I just experienced touring it, and I had their ice cream, and I'm a sucker for ice cream and sweets. So I, tried some of those little chocolates, and I was like, I didn't want to leave. I was like, this is so mean. Why would you take me here and not let me stay at least a day,
Yep.
So they have that good welcome drink too. That like white, like coconut one that's really good. We should have a whole episode of ranking welcome drinks.
Absolutely.
Or the smell of the resort. I love the smell and just,
it's a good
and
spot.
then we need to rank also the spas, because that's one thing I love to go, visit the spa at every resort so I can know, oh, make sure you try this and that. Definitely.
Research.
That's my favorite one.
I mean, if I have to go get a massage at every resort that I go to, then I guess that's in the name of market research.
That's what I'm doing it so I could tell my clients and my brides what to do. It is a hard job, by the way.
You are dedicated to your craft, Dorothy. I applaud you.
Oh, thank you. It's so hard.
I don't always do massages, but if they have a hydrotherapy, like I love comparing those because they're not all the same. Like some of them are very different from each other. So it is nice to know that.
No, definitely. One thing I do want to mention is, as a, past teacher, one thing I did learn is when I first got started, I want to focus on learning one, particular hotel group and do well before I jumped into the next one. So I kind of, found AMR, because they're no longer AMR, but I found AMR and I was like, okay, I want to learn how to do this well. And then once I felt confident, I moved on to the next one. Now, this year, I want to learn more. So this year, I'm focusing more on Hard Rock and Unico. So I think as a teacher, you can't do everything. And same thing as a travel agent, you can't be an expert on everything. And it's okay not to be an expert at everything. So to me, the way I did it was I focused on only particular ones to get to know, become an expert at, and then slowly gain more knowledge and, learn more about other resorts.
I love that approach. And it makes it less overwhelming. And there's more than enough business to go around. The example we always talk about is Hard Rock Punta Cana does 800 weddings a year. There's one hotel, 800 weddings a year. There's more than enough business to go around, even just focusing on like one hotel group at a time.
Yes, definitely. And this year, well, not this year, next year, majority of my weddings are 50 rooms or more.
Oh, wow.
So that's the reason why I'm doing more Hard Rock and more Unico and things like that, is because they're really good at doing bigger groups. So yeah.
They got it down to a science.
Love that.
Exactly.
Well, the next one I feel like I know the answer to because we talked about it earlier, but cats or dogs?
Cats, definitely.
Really?
Cats. Yes. This is the first time having a dog. We've always had cats, and my husband was like, we have cats all the time. Let's get a dog. And I was like, fine. So yeah. Oh, he just cried.
Oh, he heard that.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, we've driven this poor dog to therapy.
Sorry, Bilbo. I'm sorry.
His name's Bilbo?
Uh-huh.
Like from The Hobbit?
Yes.
Oh my God. Like, do you have a Hobbit tattoo?
No.
Yeah,
That is
it's
awesome.
no, it's so nerdy. Only like super nerd people get it. But it's
My husband named him. My husband loves all the Lord of the Rings. So Bilbo Baggins is his name. So yeah.
That's an amazing name. Yeah, my dad read us the Hobbit books, like, well, the Hobbit and then the Lord of the Rings books when we were little. Like he would read it to us before we went to bed. And so I got the not all those who wander are lost, like that line from the Hobbit.
That is my favorite saying.
Yeah.
Just
oh my gosh. I love that your dog's name is Bilbo.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Go ahead.
Actually, I'm changing my mind about the resort.
Okay.
Now it's no longer LeBlanc. I forgot I went to Impressions. Isla Mujeres. Forgot about that one. That one's I fell in love. I didn't want to leave, and they made me leave. It was rude.
It is just a different feeling there.
It is. They just put you on the boat and kicked you out. They were like, bye.
Like I was like White Lotus happening right here, champagne glass, and I'm like, I have this catamaran with 2 other people. That's it. You know, it was it's luxury at its best. Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
Well, now I know that you have pretty bougie taste. Those are the top 2 that you pick. Those are fancy. I like it.
Yes. Bougie taste, budget. When it comes to money.
Don't we all?
I wouldn't spend that kind of money on it, but you know.
Champagne taste and a beer budget. And one of my favorite things that I ever learned in sales is that you never sell out of your own pocket. So, although you may not, be dishing out the cash to go there, there are definitely people and there's definitely a market for those hotels.
Yes. I have a bride who is going there beginning of May. And she's trying to pick between Secrets Mokshay, or Impressions. So she is doing 2 days at Mokshay and 1 day at Impressions.
Very nice.
Very curious to see where she ends up, or the one she likes better. Yeah,
because I'm like, if you get Impressions, the one Isla Mujeres, I'm coming to that wedding.
Good. I am inviting myself. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I don't care what you say. I'm inviting yes, exactly. So yeah, I'm excited to see which one she picks. We'll see.
Absolutely. So when you're touring these absolutely beautiful bougie hotels, what is your cocktail of choice?
A Paloma. I love Palomas.
Palomas are good.
Those are my favorite. Well, besides a tequila shot, that's a given. Well, but yeah, Paloma, because they're just refreshing and you don't feel like you're drinking, you feel like you're having water.
I feel like Paloma is like Mexico's like little hidden secret that I don't see them served here very often.
Or it's not the same. Like, I feel like people get too fancy with them and they try to like, grapefruit puree and we're doing all these things. You're like, no, I just need like squirt and tequila and some tahini or some salt and it's perfect.
And you can tell by the color they made it right. So yeah, there's a Mexican restaurant down the street from us and they know exactly how I like it. So anytime I walk in, they're like, here you go. I'm like, thank you.
See, that's good.
Yeah. So you.
Well, how do all these tequila people just gravitate towards each other? I feel like that's the other half of our group is that we all just like found each other. What is the 2 more? I promise, and these are easy.
No, I love it. Keep on going.
What is the biggest travel mistake that you have made for yourself? Because we've all done it.
For myself, well, I'm doing this European cruise thing, and the fact that I am doing it all by myself. Instead of having someone, I wish I would have hired a travel agent to do this for me. Because, I mean, the cruise was fine. I got that. But we're going to go to Europe. I'm going to get Rome 2 days early. We got to figure out transportation and visit all the different sites in those 2 days. And I just wish I would have gotten a travel agent who knows.
You know who you could talk to? Christy McAdams in the Playbook. She's
Okay.
a huge, not only cruise, but also Europe person.
Okay.
You could probably message her and she'd give you like everything in like 2 seconds.
Good to
I
know.
think that's one of the most important lessons that I learned in travel is that travel agents need travel agents.
Yeah.
Like,
Really do.
yeah, like I focus on Mexico and Caribbean. Put me in Europe. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. So, I've got, we've got tour operator partners that can tell us, what the itinerary should be, but to have someone be an expert in the, in the area, it's priceless.
Yeah, no, it's been driving me crazy. I'm like, I'm spending way too much time on this when I shouldn't. I should have given it to someone else and said, here.
And like, that you're like, oh, someone else already knows this. And I'm just like fumbling though.
Yes. And there's 8 of us. So it's not that easy to take care of all this, figure out where to stay for 8 people.
No. And hotel rooms in Europe are so tiny and like hotels are so small, like I agree.
Vacation.
Yeah. Yep. So that was the biggest mistake for me, for sure.
Well,
okay. That's
there's still time. There's still time.
Now for clients, there's other ones.
We don't talk about those. That's
We've all done it. We won't make you bare your soul on client mistakes. We've all done it.
But that's okay because I learned from them. So that's fine.
They are all learning experiences, that's for sure. You'll never do it again.
God, no. I'm no dummy.
Isn't that the funniest thing though? When something does happen, Carol came to me a couple of weeks ago with something and I was like, well, you'll never do that again. Like that's now, and those things are like seared in your brain.
Oh yeah. I might get a tattoo with that person's name on here.
Never forget.
Never.
All right. So last one, you've made it through the lightning round. This one, just a caveat. It doesn't necessarily need to be travel. It can be, but it doesn't need to be.
Okay.
It's what is on your bucket list?
On my bucket list. Well, travel is always on my bucket list. So I would say the Maldives, Bora Bora, though it seems like a beautiful place, but I don't know if I can stay there too long because I like to be doing busy things and it looks like it's one of those relaxing chill places.
Yeah.
So I want to go there to experience it for a couple of days and then go do something else.
It's a long flight too. I like that we always, everyone that we've ever asked that question to picks something like super exotic and hard to get to. Which kind of, I think I have a theory that travel agents, we just like long flights because no one will bug us.
That's true. I love
I love a long flight.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I could sit at the airport for hours. I'm happy.
I am a antsy ADHD person. I cannot sit Italy. I was crawling out of my skin.
Oh no.
It's only a 6-hour flight. It's not that long.
Yeah. That's not that long.
No, I think it's going to be 11 hours for us from Italy.
Yeah.
So,
oh, for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still a long flight. I don't know. Matt told me he's not ready to get on a plane again after we went to South Africa in October and that 17-hour nonstop to Cape Town.
17 hours?
Yeah, that was the longest flight I had ever been on. And I did okay on the way there. On the way back, I was very twitchy. Like I was just like, okay, we're done. Because 17 hours, you have a full night's sleep, wake up, and still have a whole day left on the plane. It's just so far. But it was worth every minute. So worth it.
No, I bet. That sounds amazing.
That sounds like pure torture to me. Dorothy, back to your Maldives. I feel like when everyone goes over there, it's like a tour.
Yeah.
So you do the Maldives, but then you also do like Thailand or China.
Exactly.
You try and fit in as much as you can.
Yeah.
If you're going to put in the time on the flight, then it's
over
that downtime, but then you can pick up a little bit.
So yeah, that's what I think I would do. And then also maybe Australia. I've always wanted to go there too. I have a koala bear tattoo. So I love koala bears. So,
I've learned more about Dorothy in the last 35 minutes. I love it. Oh, koala bear. That would be fun.
That would be fun. So I got a koala bear tattoo with tequila involved, of course, but that's a different story.
Again, long flight, backing up my theory that we all just like long flights, so people leave us alone.
I'm going to tell a really, really quick, ridiculous tattoo story. I will just keep it
I'm
to the
ready.
show notes. I have a good friend of mine. He went on a bachelor party with a bunch of friends. They traveled to Vegas. They all got to choose the location of the tattoo, but the friends got to choose what the tattoo was.
Oh
So,
my God.
yeah, my good friend, who happens to be a straight gentleman, very, fitness focused, has a very, very, how do I politely say, a extravagant looking dolphin on his inner thigh.
Extravagant.
I don't know. I couldn't think of a better word.
I need pictures of that, please.
Yeah.
I'm gonna text me that picture right now to see what that is.
Right up there with Dorothy's koala.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So the lesson.
Don't get a koala on your stomach, by the way.
Oh.
Because when you're pregnant, get
not a koala.
Don't do it.
So the lessons of today's flights episode is do not get a dunk tattoo.
No. Not
and
do
if
it.
you do, make it hilarious.
Yes. In a place that people can't see it either.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh, well, this was fun. Thank you for being here with us. I know it's like the middle of the day, but we appreciate you. This was fun.
I'm glad. I had such a blast. Anytime you want me back on, I'm here for you.
Sounds great. Dorothy, thank you so much. It was great chatting with you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Running a travel business may have its challenges, but with a dash of humor, the right tools, an amazing community, and a lot of wine, success awaits us all. Raise a glass with us and toast to your remarkable journey.
Don't forget, if you're ready to take the next step in your travel career, one where you can focus on developing your niche, attracting leads, converting them into new clients, and automating your systems, you can build the business of your dreams. If you're ready, join us in the Playbook Inner Circle at jointheplaybook.com. We can't wait to see you inside.